monument has been commissioned to honour LGBT veterans and serving personnel. This is the chosen design, a bronze model of a crumpled letter made up from the words taken from evidence given by LGBT personnel affected by the ban. It'll be installed at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire.
Well, we're now joined on the sofa by Roly from Fighting with Pride, who served as a commander in the Royal Navy while the ban was in force. And also joining us, the artist Nina Bilbey, who worked on the monument's design. Good to see you as well there, Nina. And Roly, thanks for joining us this morning. We heard some of the experiences there in that film from Josh, but what are your memories of what it was like serving under the ban and how things changed when it was lifted?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I served for 46 years altogether, so 20-plus years before the ban was lifted and 24 years after the ban was lifted, so saw the whole spectrum. And, yeah, basically you're living a double life during that period of the ban. You're looking over your shoulder, you're careful about what you say and how you say it and to whom you say it, because obviously you don't want to incriminate yourself. And it made life very difficult because you can't be your true self at work. You can't be out to your closest friends at work. Not because you think they might out you if you confided, but because you didn't want to put them in the position of having to decide. But
it's not just a workplace, is it? Because you're living alongside those people as well, in many cases.
It's a real challenge, yeah. It was a double life, simple as that. So when I left the ship and went home, I had a partner and you just switched off. So I got very good at compartmentalising.
The 90s as an era doesn't feel like that long ago, and yet how different it was. Does it feel quite surreal looking back?
Oh, it is. It's amazing. It's really difficult to understand that in 1995 we were sending people to jail for being gay. So, yeah, fast forward a few years and, yeah, clearly we've made massive strides. And for me, when the ban was lifted, the watershed moment, it took a few years for me personally to adjust and accept that it was for real. There were those braver people than me. Craig Jones from Fighting with Pride came out day one and nailed his colours to the mast very early. But I was quite cautious. But we got there in the end, and I was very happy to come out. And Gay Pride 2006, for me, was the watershed where we were involved with marching in uniform in London for the first time ever.
Yes, we're seeing some pictures there now. Viewers will be seeing this at home. And you mentioned, obviously, a watershed moment. Do you remember feeling or noticing a point when things really felt like they'd changed?
Yes, it was as I say, it was a slow start. The announcement by Jeff Hoon in Parliament was actually quite recalcitrant. He said something along the lines of, we choose the battles we fight, and we can't fight this one. So it wasn't exactly encouraging. But as I say, we took a few years, and Craig Jones, again, was fighting really strongly to have terms and condition changes. So we had married courses, as everybody else did, that sort of thing. But it was slow. But as I say, by about 2005, 2006, it was clear things were changing and we were going in the right direction. Of course, now the armed forces are a completely different place. I mean, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force are regularly in the top 100 of Stonewall's Equality Index as employers, which is huge. And you get people joining up who didn't know there was a ban back in the day. And that's why this issue is so important, that we actually memorialise and capture the history so that people's sacrifices in the past are recognised.
And those sacrifices have been honoured by way of this memorial that commemorates the lifting of the ban. You were very much involved in leading the campaign to get that and the commission to get that done. We've got Nina, who's the artist who helped create it as well. Nina, how did you go about trying to reflect the experiences and, I suppose, the enormity of the ban and then its lifting in one sculpture?
I mean, it's fairly impossible, isn't it, that? What you've just asked me is an impossible task. But what we did when we talked to Roly and looked at the brief is that we realised the heart and soul of this memorial had to be love. And it had to be based in the veterans' own words. We couldn't enforce a design onto a group of people who had suffered such a loss of careers, loss of their homes. Some of them lost their homes in prison. So we boiled it down. We got rid of the noise around the project that might confuse you and just realised at the heart of this is about who you choose to live your life with and who you love.
And what would you like people to feel when they visit and look at this sculpture?
I think the sculpture is based in language. We've used words, the veterans' own words and the words that they've collected that felt best represent them. And we'd like people to read into it, what they want in a sense, but also it's got two sides. The sculpture's got two sides. So when you come on the inside of the sculpture, you're reading the veterans' words and the positive words that they've contributed towards this project. But on the outside, some of the words are abstracted. You have to kind of make a bit of an effort. The outside is shiny and bright, just like the gay community. You know, we project positivity under adversity. And the military, the veterans who've suffered this ban, it's exactly what they did. They went about their lives with an inside and an outside. You know, their inside selves and their home lives, like Roly's saying. So I would like people to see positivity, a reflection of something that's no longer there, the ban. But it's also a place for people who are in the military now that can go and reflect on the change and the liberty that they have because of the fight of the previous veterans.
And that's hugely important, sorry to interrupt, because it is an armed forces community memorial that covers the serving community today, as well as the veterans who've suffered so badly in the past. And also it's got to be timeless, so it's somewhere that people in the future who are serving can reflect on what's gone before and so the sacrifices that people were made. So that's Nina's. The design is so clever, and that you've got the positivity on the outside with the shiny effect, and the key words are also contemporary rather than historic.
Nina, I just want to ask you, just based on what Roly's mentioned there, the power of the design. How much did you draw on your own feelings and experiences to shape that?
We're a collective of artists, so the design was a joint effort. It was a collaboration between many very, very skilled artists, and many of the community are LGBT. I was a school teacher during Clause 28, so I'm very familiar of the strange and wonderful things that we all had to work under. And it's extraordinary how personal this became and how emotional this became very quickly, actually. And it's one of the reasons we decided to submit a design. And I hope that personal engagement with it is one of the reasons that Roly and the charity trusts us, because it's such an honour for us to be given this. And I hope we do it justice.
Well, Nina, thank you so much for speaking to us. And Roly, thank you so much for coming in to talk about this really important subject.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.